Okay.
She said it was one person, but I'm not getting on y'all because y'all had like 20 girlfriends.
Who, you? 20 girlfriends? Oh my God. Wait, what did you say?
Well, you know what? My thought was when he said it, I'm shocked. I'm like, your whole thought process is that I went down and I want to tear everyone else down.
Why would you just let him say that though?
See, because it's his mouth, he can say whatever he want to say.
I cannot believe this conversation. I don't know. If I hear it again, that means there's some truth in it.
When my integrity is, when it's time, my integrity will stand it. It'll stand the test.
You ever see someone hold it together for so long, until finally, they snap? That's exactly what just happened on Love and Marriage. Huntsville. Marsau Scott has had enough, and this time, he's not holding back. The calm, cool, calculated businessman we've come to know finally let that mask slip. And who was in the line of fire? None other than Martell Holt and Destiny Payton. What started as quiet tension behind the scenes has now exploded into a full-blown confrontation that left fans stunned. Viewers are calling it one of the realest moments in the show's history. Not because of the shouting or the shade, but because for once, Marsau said what everyone else has been too afraid to say. He exposed lies, manipulation, and betrayal that had been building for months.
Marsau did an interview out here saying, I'm like, why would this dude even fix his mouth to say something about my charge? So what's the problem with you then?
Every time he opens his mouth to say something about Marsau, he gonna be talking about Martell.
I never say about you. What you
about what Marsau knows about Martell. I'm telling you right now, I don't have no respect for you.
Okay, you a bitch ass. It's like dude code, and it's like we together. I'm not saying nothing about it.
We've never met together.
Where the pictures at, Martell? Let me see.
Cheers to my boy. Go ahead and say your shit.
Keep going, big fella. Keep going, big fella.
I'm done. Hold on.
But here's the twist. It wasn't just about Martell's messy behavior or Destiny's silence. It was about something much deeper. Trust, loyalty, and the breaking point of a friendship that was never as solid as it looked on TV. Because when Marsau finally went off, it wasn't random. It was raw, personal, and years in the making. Marsau Scott isn't new to the spotlight. From the very beginning, he's been portrayed as the level-headed one, the guy who keeps his cool while everyone else around him falls apart. The builder, the businessman, the husband trying to hold his family together while chaos swirls around him. But that calm exterior, it's been tested more than once, especially by his so-called brother, Martell Holt. Let's rewind for a second. Back when Love and Marriage, Huntsville first hit screens, Marsau and Martell were inseparable. They were more than just castmates. They were friends, business partners, and at times, each other's confidants. Fans loved seeing that dynamic. Two black men building empires, raising families, and trying to redefine success in their own way. But as we've learned, what glitters on TV doesn't always shine behind closed doors. As Martell's marriage to Melody Holt crumbled in front of the world, Marsau tried to play the role of the supportive friend. He defended Martell when the cheating rumors started. He tried to reason with him even when things got ugly. But the problem was, Martell wasn't just self-destructing, he was dragging everyone around him down too. And Destiny Payton, she came into the picture right in the middle of that storm. She had her own drama, a whirlwind marriage, a sudden divorce.
I've had enough.
See, that's how I feel about y'all.
No, you started it.
Did you say I started it,
The
Martell?
whole thing from
Oh
the beginning.
my God.
Now you seem a little hostile.
Talking to me like
Ooh.
that. I would never come for you if you didn't come for me
And
or mine.
take that little mouth.
Don't.
And a growing friendship with Martell that fans couldn't stop talking about. From the outside, it looked like Destiny was just trying to rebuild her life. But the closer she got to Martell, the more the whispers started. Rumors, speculation, tension, and through it all, Marsau and his wife Letitia found themselves pulled deeper into the chaos. For months, fans noticed something changing. Marsau, who once brushed off Martell's behavior, started looking tired, frustrated, done. And when that moment finally came, when Marsau went off, it wasn't about one rumor or one comment. It was about everything. It all started during a casual gathering. One of those moments where the cast was supposed to talk things out. But if you've watched this show long enough,
I have a high opinion of the business that I'm in. I sell, I'm telling you right now.
you know those sit-downs rarely end peacefully. Martell walked in like nothing was wrong, smiling, joking, pretending the tension wasn't suffocating the room. Destiny sat quietly beside him, calm on the outside, unreadable on the inside. But Marsau, he wasn't in the mood for pretending. He looked Martell dead in the eye and said, "You keep playing the victim, but you're the one setting fires and walking away." The room went silent. For the first time, someone said out loud what so many have been thinking. Marsau continued, his voice low but firm. "You don't take responsibility for anything. You blame Melody. You blame producers. You blame everybody but yourself. And now you're dragging Destiny down that same road." Destiny's face froze. Martell tried to laugh it off, but you could see his jaw tighten. Marsau wasn't finished. He leaned forward and said, "You keep talking about loyalty, about friendship, but you don't even know what that means. Every time things get hard, you turn it into a circus. You create drama, then act like you're the one being attacked. It's exhausting." For a man who usually stays composed, the emotion in Marsau's voice caught everyone off guard. He wasn't angry just for the sake of being loud. He was hurt. This was coming from someone who had once called Martell his brother, and when he turned toward Destiny, it got even more intense. He told her, "You say you want peace, but your silence is feeding the chaos. Every time you avoid the truth, you make it worse. You let Martell's behavior reflect on you, and you know better than that." Destiny's eyes filled with tears, but she didn't speak. The rest of the cast sat frozen. Nobody knew what to say, because in that moment, Marsau wasn't just calling out to people. He was breaking the illusion that had held the group together. Now, fans have been quick to point out that Marsau ain't exactly innocent. He's faced his own share of rumors, whispers about infidelity, tension in his marriage, and accusations that he's just as good at stirring the pot when it benefits him. But what made this moment different was the rawness. There was no smirk, no calculated calm, just truth. You could almost see the years of frustration boiling over. Every time he had to defend Martell's bad behavior, every side-eye he and Letitia got just for being associated with him. Marsau had reached his breaking point, and the internet, it exploded. Clips of that confrontation spread across social media like wildfire. Fans flooded comment sections, saying, "Marsau finally said what needed to be said, and it's about time someone checked Martell." Others, of course, called him hypocritical, saying he was trying to play the moral high ground while ignoring his own skeletons. But no matter which side people were on, one thing was clear. This moment changed everything, because after that blow-up, the entire dynamic of love and marriage, Huntsville shifted. Martell's charm, the smooth talk, the victim narrative, stopped working on some of the cast. People started keeping their distance. Even Destiny, who had always defended him, began to look unsure. Behind the scenes, sources said Martell was furious. He felt betrayed, claiming Marsau had used their friendship for a storyline. But others said it was karma, a long overdue reckoning for the way Martell has treated people for years. And Destiny, she went quiet. No public posts, no explanations, just silence, which, ironically, made people talk even more. Here's where it gets even more complicated. Marsau's outburst wasn't just about drama for the cameras. It was about protecting his family. For months, his wife Letitia had been pulled into Martell's mess, accused of taking sides, questioned about her loyalty, and dragged into conversations she didn't start. The stress had started showing in their marriage, and Marsau, as much as he wanted to stay neutral, couldn't ignore the toll it was taking anymore. So, when he confronted Martell, it wasn't just about friendship. It was a man saying, "You're not going to bring that energy into my home." Fans who followed Marsau for years could see the difference. The man who once laughed off rumors was now drawing boundaries, firm ones. But of course, Martell being Martell, he didn't take it quietly. He fired back on social media, throwing shade about Marsau's fake integrity and hinting at secrets he might expose. That's classic Martell. When he feels cornered, he digs deeper into the drama. And Destiny? Still quiet, which only made things worse. People started speculating again. Was she hiding something? Was she trying to protect Martell? Or was she just tired of the circus? Either way, the damage was done. Marsau's explosion opened a floodgate that can't be closed. Now let's talk about the emotional fallout, because behind all the shade and screenshots, there's real pain here. Marsau and Martell weren't just reality TV co-stars. They were family friends. Their kids knew each other. Their wives used to hang out. There were dinners, vacations, moments that went beyond filming. So, when Marsau said those words, when he told Martell he was done, it wasn't just an argument. It was the end of a brotherhood. You could see it in his face afterward. That mix of relief and heartbreak. And that's something people forget when they watch these shows. These are real lives, real emotions. Marsau's frustration came from a place of disappointment. He wanted to believe Martell could change, that after the public divorce, the affairs, the backlash, Martell would grow up. But instead, Martell doubled down, deflecting blame, starting new rumors, and turning every situation into a storyline. And for Destiny, the emotional weight was different, but just as heavy. She's been trying to rebuild her image since her divorce, but her connection with Martell keeps pulling her back into controversy. Fans either sympathize with her or criticize her for not standing up for herself. Now, she's stuck in the middle, between a former friend calling her out and a man whose loyalty has proven shaky time and time again. It's not just about gossip. It's about identity, image, and the constant pressure of living your life on camera while everyone judges your every move. And for Marsau and Letitia, this confrontation might have finally given them the peace they needed. Sometimes you have to let people go, even when it hurts. The ending of this story, it's still being written. But one thing is for sure, the balance of power in Huntsville has shifted forever. Marsau's decision to go off on Martell and Destiny looked like drama on the surface, but underneath, it's about something much bigger. Accountability. He's drawing a line, saying enough is enough. Because when you surround yourself with chaos, it eventually starts to infect your peace. And Marsau is done sacrificing his peace for Martell's mess. For Martell, this might be a wake-up call, or it might just push him deeper into his own narrative of being misunderstood. He's lost friends, business deals, and a marriage, all while still pointing fingers. Maybe now, hearing it from someone who used to ride for him, he'll finally take a look in the mirror. And for Destiny, maybe it's time she finds her own voice again. Silence can only protect you for so long before it becomes your prison. This whole situation is messy, painful, and real. Exactly why fans can't stop watching. Because beneath the glitz and the glam, these are people trying to navigate love, friendship, betrayal, and pride under the harshest spotlight possible. Marsau's blow-up wasn't just reality TV gold. It was a reminder that even the strongest friendships can break when respect is gone. So, where do they go from here? Can Marsau and Martell ever rebuild their bond? Or has too much damage been done? And what about Destiny? Will she stand by Martell, or will she finally step out of his shadow? One thing's certain, this isn't the end. It's just the start of a new chapter in the never-ending Huntsville saga. Because if there's one thing we've learned, it's that in this circle, peace never lasts long. And when it comes to Marsau Scott, he may have stayed quiet for years, but when he finally speaks, everyone listens.